Hey everyone, if you want to make your own podcast but you don't know where to begin, Spotify for Podcasters makes it super easy. They've got everything in one place, it's totally free, and you can make money while doing it. Here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer, so no matter what your setup is like, you can start doing it today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and pretty much everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also supported, and you can even conduct polls and Q&As. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, the platform is totally free. No catch, totally free. When I wanted to start my own podcast, I did not know where to begin, and I didn't think it was even possible. And Spotify for Podcasters made it happen. They made it easy, they made it quick, and I am doing something that I love. What more can I ask for? So if you're interested in starting your own show, you can do it, and I highly recommend you give this a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started.
What is some advice you'd give someone who started at the beginning of their Kratom journey? Now, with your experience, our research and your knowledge now, the science behind it. Now, luckily, they have more research now, more information based on when you guys started. So somebody who's interested but a little scared because, the reputation it may or may not have, what advice would you give them? What to look for? What advice would you give them?
That's a good question.
The first I would start with would be that, go to the American Kratom Association, because they link to actual research reports and published peer-reviewed data. That's very important. But at the same time, that is also very dry reading. It's published medical journal research. It goes into the pharmacokinetics, and not everyone necessarily has an interest or appetite to read through that side of it.
Until you give me the cliff notes.
Right.
But the American Kratom Association...
My advice would be find an Alex in your life who can read this stuff for you.
We're very spoiled with that.
I'm kidding, go ahead.
Yes. But I would say that, if you Google Kratom and go off of the headlines, not only the headline will be very sensational, and then even within the article, the actual information they present, they'll contradict themselves. And so just reading the actual data in those will kind of start to show that their headlines really don't make sense. And then if you do have somebody that can go to that third layer to the primary data, and you'll really start to see, or just go to the American Kratom Association, they do a pretty good job of summarizing some of those differences. That will kind of show you the truth about Kratom and the actual science side. But it takes a lot to kind of get over those top headlines, which are very, very misleading at best, if not just complete inaccuracies about Kratom. Okay. But I would say, so starting out with some actual practical information, the best thing is always trust your own body. And so I think that's the biggest thing, is be aware of how your body feels. And I know that is kind of a trend that it seems like we're going back towards with meditation, yoga. People are talking about being more present, mindfulness. And it's because, it's easy. It's a benefit to our body where, our mind over our body. So playing sports, you want to push through that pain, and you can do a lot of amazing things by pushing your body through something it doesn't want to. But at the same time, it also means that we can kind of go years pushing through pain and not realize how much we're kind of abusing our body in some way. And so really kind of, if there's some kind of pain going on, try to be conscious of it and see what makes it better. So try our varieties of Kratom. Start with a small amount. Take 15, 20 minutes, see how you feel. Increase a couple more tablets or a smaller amount, and kind of keep trying to self-experiment to see what is right for you. Mm-hmm. Because everyone is different. And every body is a different body. So and so go down that path of self-awareness, experimentation, and then also, we're big advocates of a holistic approach. Just like Kratom is a collection of several alkaloids that are working together, whether it's kind of the pain relief alkaloids or the vasodilators that kind of increase blood flow, or the muscle relaxant side. Those all kind of play together in this complexity, kind of like a symphony, all playing together, as Dr. McCurdy puts it. It's the same thing with health in general, is that yes, we take Kratom, but we also eat a healthy diet, go out and get exercise, drink water, because that's a really good thing just for our body, get the right amount of sleep. So figure out kind of what all comes together to make the best lifestyle health choices, all kind of working together.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't say it any better than that. That was pretty comprehensive. I'll add a couple of things. So, try to find groups. There's a lot of like Facebook groups, Reddit groups of Kratom users. So kind of avoid those headlines that are out there for all the reasons that Alex mentioned. Unless you're going to take the time to really get down to the actual data where you can make your own conclusions. But if you can't do that, that's how I've tried so many things in my life. Is I hear from a trusted source, a friend or family recommends it to me, and I know they have my best interest at heart. So I'll and that's why you tried it when I said, hey, I'm going to try it. So let's. So you did it too. Make sure if you're going to try Kratom, look for certificates of analysis, COAs. So make sure it's lab tested. Don't just, if it says lab tested, doesn't mean that it is lab tested. You really need to pull up those COAs. And then once you do, make sure that it's not one COA applied to like several different products, and that the date is listed too. It could be from 3 years ago, or just copy and paste. You can kind of see some really bad Photoshop jobs of what people do out there. So just make sure that it's, it truly is Kratom, that they put some rigor into, if they're willing to invest in doing the lab testing, then that speaks a little bit more highly about that company. So if you're not going to use ETHA, then please at least do that when you're searching for other vendors. And like Alex said, listen to your body. It'll let you know if it works for you or not. And one thing I tell friends and family, because I'm so big on Kratom, because it's changed my life and the lives of my closest friends and family. I've witnessed how much it's changed lives. That when someone new comes to me and says, I have this pain or I have this issue, I'm like, I sometimes oversell it. Like, oh my God, I'm about to change your life. Here's this. And in all honesty, for most folks, it's more, it's a subtle, and it kind of comes on, and then it improves your life. But it isn't like the way I sell it. It almost seems like you had pain, you have zero pain now. Your pain is gone, and you're cured for life. And that's not what happens. Mm-hmm. So just being realistic on your expectations. It can definitely, to Alex's point, be part of a holistic approach to managing your health. A really significant piece. For me, it's because of Kratom, I am able to now do exercise and stretch and go on hikes with my family and go outside and get some sunlight and do these activities that I didn't do before because I was just sitting in pain and being miserable. So anyway, I said I wasn't going to give an answer, but I did anyway. So,
and that goes back a lot to while you guys were talking, everything you're saying is exactly what I tell people that come in to buy in the store. Mm-hmm. A lot of what I've noticed when they go to other places around here online, they tell me they're just like, here, this is what works, take this. They don't ask questions. When somebody comes in, I try to ask, like, hey, whatever. And then we just talk like crazy about everything that we know, and it's just like a lot, and they're just like, whoa. And I was like, I'm sorry, it is a lot, but we're just so passionate about it. And they're like, no, it's great, it is a lot, but I never knew about all this stuff. Mm-hmm. So then they're more confident and like, okay, now I know what I'm really doing here. And I always tell them, you don't have to buy anything. Here's some samples, try out, because what works for me might not work for you. What works for Alex and Victor is not going to work for you. Mm-hmm. So here's some samples, try it out, figure it out for yourself, and if you like it, come back. And almost 10 out of 10, they come back because they like it.
Even if it doesn't work for them, they'll come back because they know that we're listening to them, that mm-hmm. we're asking those questions, and that we're going to work with them to figure out what mm-hmm. it is. And so that's another thing too. Try to find a trusted voice for you where you can work through this. ETHA is a good example of it. You can you don't have to be a customer. If you have questions, reach out to us. Write to support@ethanaturals.com, and Amanda and her team will answer those questions for you, or direct it to one of us, and we'll geek out and give you the science and all of it. and this podcast, everything Kratom. I'm sure Jamie and would love to answer any questions that people have, and it's just a great platform from sharing information. So following these kinds of sources for info on Kratom is important.
Even myself, just hearing you guys talk, I learn way more about everything. Like every day is almost something new, and I live, breathe, sleep everything ETHA Kratom. So, and I still continue to learn every single day.
It's because the good part is we're actively doing the research. So
so we learn
stuff.
Just as much.
yeah. So keep on checking in with us, and we'll bore you to tears with Kratom information.